All right, this morning here at daylight, sun just is peeking up over the mountain. I'm gonna drop down in here to an old favorite fishing hole that I haven't been to in a couple of years because because we were building our house and just things got in the way. But gonna do a little fishing, and then here in the first hour or two of daylight, and then try and find some trees to cut down for firewood. So it's kind of a fun Saturday in the mountains. Drop down into this creek down here and find a spot. This used to be all pretty bare through here a couple of years ago. It's grown in a little bit. Back here through the trees, there's a nice big pool. Oh, there's a tree in it. No luck in that pool. Honestly, I think I've caught one fish out of that deep pool, maybe two over the years. But in these little pocket pools down here on these steps, I've caught dozens. I don't know why. I've caught more than one fish out of there. Seems like I catch one a year out of there. Most of them are down here in these pocket pools. So we'll just work our way down the shore for a ways and find some fish. It's pretty slick. I'll work my way down there. There's a big pool. See if we can get a fish out of there. Right back in that corner. Right in here. Oh, he got off. Dang it. That was a nice fat cutthroat. That's exactly what I thought I'd get out of there. Dang it. Nice cutthroat, small guy. All right, there's two nice pools down here. I worked my way down. Should get something out of one of these too. Probably a big one, I'm hoping. These cutthroats are really pretty. They have that cut on their throat. That's what gives them the name. Not very big. Usually you'll get a nice fatty out of here, and I'm looking for the fatty. Like 14, 15, 16 inches long. All right, caught maybe 4. 2 I could have kept and pan fried, but 2 were really small, and about 4 or 5 shook off the hook just before. The only fatty, usually I'll get 1 fat one out of there, and that was the first set down here, and he shook off the line, but he was in that 16-inch super fat cutthroat that just sits there and eats whatever pours into that little pool. So, let's go cut some firewood. All right, I forgot to video, but I came up here where these lodge poles are, and there's at least 2 down. One's pretty dead and it just blew over. The other one was green, a little bit green, and it snapped off. So I'm gonna cut those, and this one is right at the top of this slope, so I just threw everything down, and then I got one long beam to cut up here. And we'll load that up and move over to the other down tree. So that bull, I heard him up here, and there's beef cows in the woods pushed up this canyon quite a ways. I mean, I'm 21 miles up the canyon, but I haven't seen any. And then I hear that guttural growling above me, and I think it's a bear, which I thought was strange because I was running my chainsaw, but I hopped in the truck. Just because I was like, why would a bear be growling at me from just above me when I'm running a chainsaw? But it's this stupid beef cow. Looking for ladies, I guess. Anyway, let's get back to cutting. All right. One tree in. Probably 3 or 4 more to go if we can find some decent lodge poles like that, or one big one. So, load up all this crap and then move on to the next tree. Whew. I didn't used to wear chaps, but a couple years ago, pants just like these, the chainsaw flipped and hit me in the leg and cut me. Probably needed 5 or 6 stitches, but I just bandaged it. He still have the scar. It scared the daylights out of me, so I was like, yeah, I should always wear chaps. And then I never used to wear a helmet either, but again, in case I'm sawing above me or it flips up, I got total protection on my head, and it's easy to do. So that's what I do now. All right, so this is a green tree that blew down. If there's even a twig of green on it, you can't cut it down. But what I do when I find these down, as long as I see that it blew down and nobody cut it, I cut all the way back to here, and then I leave the break in case the Forest Service happens by and says, hey, what are you doing? You can't cut green tree because you get fined pretty heavily for it. Way up here in the National Forest. I need to come up here in the spring. There's so many trees that are just ready to die. It'd be easy to harvest them before people get them. I'm gonna eat some lunch. Sitting here eating lunch, prosciutto and cheese and nuts. I'm just looking up through the canopy, and then I see a dead tree right there. So I'll just drop it back this way. You can't see because of the sun, but there's no green in that. So I'll just drop this guy right back here into this opening. Sweet. All right, here it is. Totally dead. Let's cut it. So that tree was easy. Just cut it up as it laid and toss the blocks to the bottom. It's nice when if you can't pull right up to it exactly, it's nice when there's a slope. So like a dummy, I wedged my saw. I thought I cut at a fulcrum point where it'd tip off, but it just sunk and pinched my saw. And so I got the come along and rope. I'm gonna try and pull that off. It's hanging by a piece. Before that, I'm going to it was stupid. I did it because I was tired and I was like, I'm gonna cut up this tree and then be done. And I went to this point where I thought it was sitting and this would fall off, but it just slid down the tree further. So I'm gonna wedge something up underneath each side so that when that tips off, my saw falls free. That's my thought, at least. Well, it worked at this end. Let's see if it worked at the other. Looks like it fell free to some extent. I put these blocks underneath. Oh, that fell off there. Oh, sweet, came out. Good, sweet. I need to get a second chainsaw. That's the one thing I don't have. So I can manipulate things with the second saw. But that worked. All right, cut this up and be done. All right, I got that all cut up back in there and all the way out here to there. And we'll load this tree and then pull over and load that tree that I dropped. That won't be as big a load as I wanted because these are smaller trees, but be decent. If I see a tree that's easy on the way, the 21-mile drive out, I'll stop and grab it maybe. It's midday, so it's starting to get kind of warm. I need to get a second saw. This is only a 290, a steel MS 290, and so it's really for like farm chores. I need to get a bigger, beefier saw that's in the 4s or 5s so I can really get after it and cut faster. And in my kit here I have first aid kit, roll of toilet paper, bar chain oil, the tools I need, like 5 extra chains, some brand new, some that have been resharpened. All right, you got the last of it. Filled the bed. Normally I like to come up to top of the wood, but I'm really tired. And it's getting really hot. So if I'm feeling it, and there's an easy tree on the way out, I'll stop and grab it. But otherwise I might call that good and just head home. Or stop at a fishing hole and throw another line in, throw another worm in. Sometimes those holes I'll fish flies or spinners. It just depends. But I kind of like the worms and just put a bead weight on it and let it bounce on the bottom through the pools and stuff. It's kind of fun. That's it. Beautiful day. Oh, and real quick, you gotta validate your load. They automatically mark it as halves, half a cord. So I just throw the date on there. And I just put it here in my door in case they check me. And then I got the rest of them here. It's like 40 bucks for 10 cords or something. You can buy as much as you want, I think. That's it.